What's going on, everybody? James Collins here, CPWE.AI, and Greg Hyatt, BigXmedia.net. That's that intro we just saw. That's Big X Media. How you doing, Greg?
Uh, I'm alive. Been quite busy this morning, this afternoon. Tried to catch a little cat nap and then kick it again tonight.
I had my mom go to the hospital this morning, so I've been gone all day. I just come in. Yeah, it's been a busy day, but it's beautiful outside, isn't it?
It is indeed. Hopefully, we'll get a couple of days of dry weather to be able to mow grass, but we still got a small lake in the upper front portion of our yard, so we'll see.
Yeah, we do too. Sure do. So you you've been talking about Divi a little bit, and I've been messing with SEO a little bit, and you were talking about CSS classes, and I'm still a little bit more on the just trying to get everything structured and organized correctly for headings and things. But um, as a builder, yourself as a website builder, what do you think is the best option at the moment for the beginning builder, the beginning website builder?
For the beginning, I mean, all in all, Divi by far, even from Divi 4, has always been quite easy for people to follow along the flow. Now it is going to start to get a little bit more complex because of some of the way that the UI has been redesigned and some of the changes in units that are accessible through the builder, which I can show you here in just a moment. But for buck, whether you're just someone looking to build and maybe have the inkling to tinker around with doing some coding, whether it be on the CSS level or maybe even dig a little bit deeper with the PHP functionality, then in that case, Breakdance Page Builder will take you where you want to be because you can write the code directly on the page as you fly.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, are you building anything cool right now you want to show us? Anything fun? If not, that's okay. I was just wondering because you've always
I'm
got something
getting
hot
ready to
off.
start some new projects, but I do, since I've got Divi 5 installed and just playing around with it, let me go ahead and just open it up and show you some of the insides of it so people get a little bit better feel here. Give me half a second. Let's see. Share that. All right. In fact, I was starting to play around with the design on your website using Divi. Now, grant the one I've already done is there, but I was taking a look at that and I was like, let me see what I can do in here. So, one of the biggest beefs and complaints everybody had before was Divi's interface was just so slow to load. So, like, if I come down here and click on that, boom, right there. If you notice how quickly it come up on the right side. But where it gets really fun is when you start coming down in here into text sizes. And I ain't going to click on that one because I already got my clamp in there. So, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. There we go. So, as you can see, you got the standard pixels, M's, REMs, but now we start introducing some new things like calc, min, max, clamp, inherit, unset, normal, and CSS variables.
Bless you.
So if you use something like a clamp calculator to figure out your base size all the way to your max for your font, when I change over views, I don't have to go in there and change the font size. It's already done.
Nice.
Same thing to be done if you want to go on a min max type setting, or even a calculate function to where you can say, okay, at this width, we're going to go 100%, but the lower width, then it's going to drop to a different percentage, but still scale according to the device size.
So that one's going to be my website. That's neat, or at least a to at
Yeah,
least a concept.
will be. Yeah. So when I come over here into where it says variable manager, this is where it gets really, really cool. So the one thing that, in fact, let me get rid of that one. I'll just do. People like to change their phone numbers frequently. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in here my number, and we'll go ahead and just enter that in. Oh, what happened here? Wrong place. Ah,
It's not liking that
it's
dash.
not liking that. That's all right. I'll just delete it. Let's come down here and do it. Okay, so let's just do address. That'll be easier. So I had entered in the address, apply changes, yes. So now if I come in here and let's go ahead and put in a text module, right? And let's click on that bad rascal. Let's close out that. Oop. There it is. So you can see I stored the address, right? So there's the
Mhm.
address. I haven't done anything to design it here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just change the text color so you can see it. Boom, there it is. So let's say that appeared 10 different places throughout the website. We all know that going back in and making changes on 10 different pages of that particular item might get a little bit tedious. That's where if you just come back up here into your variable manager and come down there to your text where you have it, update it, click save, and every place it's been used will update automatically across the website.
Okay.
It's the same thing like links. Let's say contact email, and you put your email address in. Go ahead and say that verb. Well, it's not going to let me do that one. So let's see if I can uh, text. Let's do another text. Add global string. Oops. Say that variable. Yes, apply changes. Come back over here. And I get away. And we'll do another text. And let's come over here to the variable contact email address. Boom, there it is.
Okay.
So it's just a way, if you're going to reuse certain things, whether it be strings of text, email addresses, contact phone numbers, images, what have you, and then you can come back over here into your little variable manager. Of course, you can update those, wherever you need. If you need to delete it, you can delete it. But then you can access it over here. Let's go back in. One, you go away. Let's take that back out. Let's see. Want to delete the text. Now I'll just come back in here, hit another one. Do it again, just saying sit, text. Come back over here to the little thing that looks like I'm not sure what to really call the icon. Database, dynamic, whatever you want to call it. Click on it, choose your variable, and just like that, as you can see, it's right there. If you click on that, if you said, well, I made a mistake, you can remove the variable. You can come back in, hit it again, and there it is again. So, it opens up a lot of doors of how you control a lot of data that you might reuse across the website.
Understood.
And of course, then you can come in here, and this is where it gets really useful, is in color management. Because if you've got a whole scheme of colors, like your complementary, tertiary, opposing whatevers, you can name it whatever you want, set the actual color, the scale of opacity. Then if you was to come in and let's say come over here to design, mine, and then it takes you over to that, and then you can just, because you can see the colors reflected here are the same colors reflected here in the color chips. So let's say if I was to update my chosen color to something like, let's go with this funky green here, save that variable, apply changes. Well, it didn't. Let's see here. Did I go
Do
to
you have to
primary?
refresh the screen?
Okay, let's go with primary color again. Let's move this little jiggle bobber around. Oh, there we go. I had to click a little check. Dun, 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 apply changes. And notice as soon as I change the variable over here, the color chips automatically change to match it. So you're not having to go around hunt 1,000 different places where to update different colors. And again, if you've used 100 different elements across the website that you want to change a color on, rather than having to chase those 100 elements down, you're just going to find the color you assigned to it, change it, save it, done. Talking like a huge time saver, because nothing worse than, especially when it comes time to update a client website and they say, I don't like this color, I want to do this one. And if you've used it in 30, 40 different elements and across the board on 10 or 20 different pages, trying to update each one of those elements on a per page basis gets a little time consuming.
Sure.
The other thing that you're going to be coming out with here very shortly, which I'm stoked over, rather than being locked into an RGB color, which what you see right here, they're going to start operating on HSL. For those that don't know or don't work a lot in any kind of design tools, HSL means hue, saturation, luminance. So you can really start to fine tune your colors from each of those levels. The same thing like an RGB, red, green, blue, where you can finite define your color palettes and just makes the way you create the palette easier, more usable. Da, 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 da. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they do got some cool things coming out. The biggest thing I'm waiting on is the release and introduction of what's called a query loop builder. So, for those people who like to write articles, and I publish a lot on behalf of Big X Media, is the ability to then create a layout that might be independent from a different category on your blog. So you can get really finite, or if you're a person who sells online or digital products, that will come in quite useful, is you can build query loops and then really finite how those are queried as far as the strings, whether it's category, tags, whatever, dynamic data, and pull that through to display on the front end of your site. Just makes organizing and setting up different aspects a lot easier, especially for people that create custom post types, which I use a lot of. It makes being able to filter through that dynamic data in which you want to pull through to the front so much easier. So it's all coming up. You know, they're releasing new tools to the builder almost every week, if not every other week. And even though it's only in its alpha stage, I mean, you can theoretically build a full production site as is with it as it stands and not worry about jacking something up. Now, the cool thing about it, bounce out of here to go to the back end. Of course, I've done this earlier to show a person how to do it. Let's say maybe a person's got an older version of Divi, like Divi 4. If you come down here to where it says Divi 5 Migrator and then click on that, it will go through pre-check to make sure that you know everything you got for using any additional plugins, things of that nature. It will tell you if everything is compatible with Divi 5. And as long as you got all positive check marks, and you would just click on migrate this site to Divi 5 Alpha. Of course, this one's already using it. Don't have to worry about it. So if somebody's using an older version, it's going to tell you whether or not it's compatible. You know, and even if it isn't, that's okay, because all you got to do is just create a staging website, adjust what you got to adjust to make it work, and then migrate it and then push it back live.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. So now that being said, you've seen how easy that was. Let me log out of that one. Let me stop sharing here for a minute, and I'll go over to the break dance version. Just gotta get logged in. Do
I see the staging site that you built for me has a calendar. When you click on find out more, it goes to my calendar. Nice.
well, now that one's not a staging site. That's live.
Is it live action?
CPWE.biz.
Uh huh.
That's a live site, brother. That ain't,
Well,
that's not staged.
excellent. I didn't know. Well, that's good to know.
Well,
That's
if you can
supposed to be
see it
good.
live, trust me, it's.
For some reason, I thought you sent me a staging site link. That's all.
Uh-uh.
Well,
Almost there. I'm gonna come back over here and reshare. Hang on. Whoop. Pages. Jesus, I got a lot of damn pages on this website. Well, let's just go to this one. Make life a little simpler. Hang on a second. Share the screen. There we go. All right. So pretty much, I mean, kind of seeing what it looked like in Divi and everything else. You know, I'm in the builder right now. So if I come in here and click on that, it brings up exactly What it is, now it's a particular element that's a dual heading. But like if I come down here and click on just a standard text, boom, left side, there's a text you see right there. So there's not a lot of differences in, if you find out you want to say add another section right down here. So I'll go ahead and click on add and then just pick a section and boom, there's my section. And I can begin. Let's go ahead and choose something out of the library here. Let's go ahead and choose a different preset fancy sections. Let's see what's in here.
Are you still sharing your screen?
I should be.
All right, let's make sure. Well, there we go. Just making sure
Yeah.
that everybody could see what you're working on here.
Yep.
You
And
mind
then like,
just re-going over what you're doing?
yeah, so I just dropped in a new section, which is right here. Okay. Let's say I'm ready to pop in some content. So I'll click on the little plus button. Now I can click on the library. There's a couple ways I can do this. If I want to reuse content from this website, all I got to do is click on this website. And let's say I maybe want my blog section back in here. So I'll just go ahead and click that. And as you can see, it's dropped in the same section that I have on another page. So I can pick and choose other things from within the site to reutilize on any page. And if I just, now the cool thing about this though is if I come down to settings and advanced, right here where it says draft, if I turn that on and was to save this, even though I can see it on the back end, it wouldn't be visible on the front end. So it allows me to build and design things and elements, although I can see it, nobody on the front end can see it. Now, as soon as I take it out of draft mode, then it becomes visible on the front end.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've got a good workflow going.
Now the plus thing, so let's go ahead and come into this section. And let's say I really wanted to get nitty gritty with it here. Let's see. If I come to advanced, then you see right here, you got custom CSS. I can work with custom classes, IDs. So if I want to assign a ID to it and make it a link, if you will, I could put the link somewhere else and it would take directly to the section, even if it was on from another page. It's on how you create your links. But let's scroll out of this. But what I was talking about, get rid of that one. So let's go ahead and add in a code block. And this is where, like I said, for those who want to get a little bit deeper, you can write directly into it, whether it be PHP and HTML. Come down, do your CSS, and drop down and do your JavaScript. So if you wanted to build functionality that goes above and beyond what the builder does, you can code it out or make it even better. We'll see.
So just to be clear, the Divi 5 builder does include a, a similar plugin to WordPress code.
You be able to write code directly into it.
Yeah.
You can CSS, but not PHP and JavaScript just yet.
Okay.
That's not to say that may not be coming in the future, but not right now. But what's even better, now keep in mind right now, I'm inside a breakdance page builder.
Right.
So if I was to come down to, and this is where life gets goofy, crazy. I can create my own element with its own macros, with its own JavaScript, and make it to where when I'm done creating it, if I was to come over here and choose add, that would actually be over here
Mm-hmm.
to choose from the library itself. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that because I don't want to be there. Uh, but on as far as the globals in breakdance, I mean they make it super simple as well. I mean there's your brand, your text, your headings, your links, your background, the color palette, and I can name it what I want so I know when I reference it. Typography, you can even control the overall look of forms. Containers, so containers, I usually come here and preset the default width of the whole website, which I standardly use either 1120 or 1180 on the pixels. Again, if I want to write more code that's global, I can do it style sheet. I can add JavaScript, all kinds of amazing things you can just get lost in over here. I'm going to delete that and resave it. And of course, if you want to opt to have your own OpenAI key, you can use your personal key to utilize AI directly to help you build with any. You can do it in Divi. Divi's got its own subscription, but if you want to stay on the OpenAI end of life that a lot of people do, I mean, just input your own personal API key and go to town. Now this one
Have you seen
here,
any, have you seen any repercussions from Google
as
on
far as
using the AI builders for websites? Well, any kind of
uh
AI generated content.
that's a dual question. That's a yes and no, and that gets more into not the what you're building, but if you're using AI to generate a lot of the content on the website, then yes, because a lot of people will find a design they're happy with aesthetically and then rely on AI strictly for the verbiage and the content on it. Because we all know it's real easy to click on an AI button, give it a title and then say, give me all the content based on this thought and set of words. Well, Google's bright enough to know how to sniff that out to realize that you just hijacked, potentially 20 different websites worth of words, and they don't take highly to that.
That's what I was wondering. What do they typically do if that happens?
Well, you're just not going to get ranked.
Okay.
Good luck being found. That's, now this is where we kind of cross into some gray areas and additional tools can come in handy. So I've already logged out. Let me go to the front end so I can grab some text here. Let me go to the blog. Let me share my screen again. Whoop. There we go. Hot topics. All right. So I'm coming here. I'm just going to copy over some text and copy it. Let's see. I got to make this thing change what I'm displaying. I guess just stop it and come back over to Google Gemini, share. So please rewrite the following. Paste that in there. And I'm basically telling them to go in and rewrite it. Now, that's not the perfect end all to be all because it may very well be rewriting it, but also might be rewriting based on someone else's work that's already on their website. So, I mean, AI is great, especially when you are going through some brain fog and just are struggling to pull some content together. But what you want to do is maybe take this, and regardless of what AI tools you're using, you can do this in anything, right? So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna click on share, and I'm gonna go to export to docs or wherever you keep your documents, and go back in there and pick it apart and rewrite it. Make it your own because, as you very well known, AEO people already should know what SEO is. I hope search engine optimization. It's how you get ranked and listed in Google. AEO, Ask Engine Optimization, deals more with the voice search. Well, how you type something into Google search or any search engine is way different than how you might ask it to a voice assistant or have a conversation with another human being. So, how you type versus how you speak might be two distinctly different things. And that's where the blend of SEO and AEO, you got to do some fine tuning. Before it was more about, how many times did you use a certain keyword or keyword string on throughout any given content. Not so much more. In fact, now Google looks at that as keyword stuffing, which will get you, and there's a happy balance of how many times to use the keyword in conjunction with some AEO standards and optimization to get a good blend and harmony on both sides. Again, if all you're doing is taking AI, again, regardless of the tool you're using, and say, create me some content based around this topic, and it seconds, microseconds later, you got a whole page of whatever. Again, is it your own? No. Where does AI go to look for what it puts in front of your eyeballs? It scrubs the web. It picks what it thinks is its best version of the answer to the instructions you just give it. So that's where you got to take your content, refine it, fine tune it, make it your own voice, and then publish it. But if all you're going to do is just copy and paste, I mean, you are really scrubbing a lot of time trying to get ranked, and you're going to pull your hair out because it's just not going to happen. And if
Well,
it does and Google sees it, it does not take them long to make sure you can't be found.
right. They will discontinue your profile. So, as a primary AI tools user, um, that's something that I have already identified myself. So, I have a tool called a humanizer that what it will do is it will humanize the text and then you run it into an AI analyzer. And
Yeah,
to
I know you got the tool, and I've seen a couple pop up in my feed. Same thing, humanizer analyzes it to make sure and then some even offer a plagiarism check that
and
kind
I
of
do too.
runs in the background. So you can double check to make sure you're not, and that's a cool thing to do. Again, the best way to use your AI tool, we all don't want to get lazy because for long we're all going, nobody's ever going to type an article, put brain thought into it. They're going to throw a topic in, let AI do the rest. Where the hell's the creative juice in that? I mean, hell, I can teach my dog how to do it after a certain length of time. I want to be able to sit down and maybe I'm struggling with getting to that next point. It's like, okay, I'm going to give it topic, tell it to outline, 20, 30 talking points around this to help boost my brain and to think it's like, oh yeah, I want to talk about this. Blah, 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 let me write. Then take my text, put it into AI, and ask it to rewrite my text
Right.
using something like the humanizer, whatever, to give it a more polish. And again, keep in mind, if people read something you write who also have had the um, pleasure of speaking with you and hearing you in person. If you talk one way and type something completely different, people are going to look at type content and call BS on it.
Yeah,
Guarantee it.
that's true. That is true.
It's
Hey,
about
Greg, it's
being,
been 36 minutes, man. I don't want to
yeah,
keep you. Are
man.
you okay?
I, unless I got to pee, yeah.
I hear you. I'm doing good.
No,
I don't like to waste your time, nor do I like to.
no, we're all going, man. You hit the heartstrings on this one because, and most people nowadays are getting smart enough to know even when they look at something, whether it's on Facebook, even videos are getting like this on YouTube, where you can almost tell something's been created with AI, whether that's a headless video, you know, what have you. And don't get me wrong, there are some of them that are pretty freaking cool. But at the end of the day, people still relate to that authenticity of you being you and presenting your content, whether it's written, video, got audio, because now you can go in and pretty much create a complete AI song and every instrument to be used in the track that you want from scratch. And there are people that are making money doing that, and that's cool. Like I said, AI is cool, and I love it. Use it every day, but it's about bringing harmony between the two, between the tools and the person. You know, it's okay to use them, but again, at the end of the day, people still want to relate to people, not to a bot.
You got it. That's a great way to end this live stream, Greg. People still want to relate to people and not just a bot. Now, it's not the best time to throw a sales pitch to say we build chat bots at CPWE.AI, but we do. If you need one, contact us. If you need a
But see,
website, big
and here's
expert.
something to think about. I bet your tools do. If not, you need to make them do it. Is how a chat bot interacts with anybody that chats with it. You can tell what's a canned question in a bot versus something that might have a more personable approach to it. It's like, hey, man, I see you come here, check it out about us cutting your grass for you. Man, we got the best mowing team around. And then, you know, more natural flowing as opposed like, well, what can we help you with today? You know, and grant there's a business model where that type of bot is accepted and people kind of grown to accept it as is. But giving the bots a little bit more customization to that of the business owner goes a long ways. And you can do it here with his tools. You just got to be a little bit more creative in how you think.
That's all it is, being clear with what you want. You're exactly right. I wrote a book on that. Speaking of, you have some books coming here in the short form. Just found them in my emails and I've been working on them. So, uh, more to follow on that.
We got to hook up, do this in person thing, and you're going to have to come over here and show me how to use this. Is it ASL video creation
VSL,
tool? VSL.
the
I
VSL script creator.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, what is this, and how do I make it create my video?
Yeah, I'll show you. I will. I will show you. Greg, it's been awesome, man.
YouTube. Hey, y'all, here's the thing y'all do. Y'all go CPWE.AI. Somewhere down there is some buttons I bet you can click on to talk to James to himself, and he hook you up with tools all in one place. Because, like I said, we all have become AI subscription junkies over the past couple of years because the more tools become available and the cooler they are. And if you're like me and go squirrel, you want to subscribe to all of it. It does not take long to get to about $150, $200 a month or more in monthly subscription fees. Save you some money. Hook up with James at CPWE.AI Let him explain what they got. How many you got now? 80, roughly 80 tools in there.
66 is where I'm at.
66. Well, that's close.
That's what I published. And with what Greg was saying, I do want to emphasize you don't need an extra key for our tools. So we've already hooked up deep research, already hooked up perplexity, already hooked up these major models, and they're already there and working for the correct application that they were created for. Google Gemini's in there, Google Bard, um, your image creating tools from, let's see, how many different ones did we put in there for that? And we constantly optimize these models that we're using. So this isn't just something like we built Chat GPT 4 years ago and it's still running this application. No, when 40 came out, we were on it. And now that the latest updates come out, all of those updates are there too. So you want to at least choose an AI platform that is staying with the times because they're changing very, very fast.
I can go to bed tonight. All the biggest players, that people can think of now, whether it be Gemini, whether it be Claude, whether it be Anthropic, whoever, will come out with a newer, greater version in the morning. So yes, I
That's
mean
only
they change very quickly.
Yes, they do. And so do we. So we're staying agile through this process, and hopefully you will too. And
Did
if
you
you're,
did you figure out a way yet to pull YouTube videos on and make it do that cool stuff I showed you last week?
I haven't, only because this week I had a full build I had to do myself. But you can count on it. By next week, we will be talking about that.
Be looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I will make sure it happens. I'm going to go ahead and click this intro and play us out. Schedule a call with Greg. It's media.net. Exactly how it is. We're getting free information. And then start charging. You see it there, bigxmedia.net. Go visit Greg. CPWE.AI is me. Good night, everybody.